in that gathering, the glorification of the Lord. And then Sankhya Muni, in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, he glorified the Lord. And Parashara Muni is the one who heard from Sankhya Muni the glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. There is a glorification of the Lord in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Parashara Muni, actually what happened once Parashara Muni's dad was killed by the demon. So Parashara Muni he started a yajna to kill what is that yajna? To kill all the demons in the universe. And there were so many people, so many demons were getting killed because of that yajna. And finally, Vasishtha Muni came and he said, they are all demons. That is their demonic nature. And you are a Brahmin. You should be a forgiving. You should have the forgiving nature. What are you doing? Please stop this yajna. Then Parashara Muni, he realized and he said, yes, what am I doing? I should be forgiving. And he stopped the yajna. When he stopped the yajna, the father of the race, of this demonic race, Pulastya Muni, he was very happy and he gave a lot of benedictions to Parashara Muni. And when Parashara Muni glorifies the Lord in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it was a lot, because of all these benedictions, he had a lot of potency. Of course, he is in the disciplic succession, right? So he also heard from his Guru, Sankhya Muni, and along with the other benedictions, he had a lot of potency when he speaks Srimad Bhagavatam. And Maitreya Muni actually heard from Parashara Muni. And that's how now he is talking to Vidura. The glorification of the Lord in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. There are two things which we can understand now. How he is actually glorifying the parampara, that how he heard, and he's telling it was the same question asked previously, and now also the same question you're asking. And I'm very eager to answer your questions. So what we understand is the person who is eager to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and is most important here. Why? Because the more we are eager to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, the speaker who is speaking Srimad Bhagavatam also will be very eager to answer and glorify the Lord. So that there is an inquiry about the glories on the topics of Supreme Personality of Godhead. When there is the topic of Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is all transcendental. In that consciousness. So one thing I understand is consciousness is very important. Do we have the right consciousness to hear the topics of Supreme Personality of Godhead? How is this consciousness develops? And what is this inquiry? The inquiry is proportion to the consciousness of a person, what he asks. The whole world, out of 8,400,000 species, we have somehow become human beings, Durlabha Manava Janma. And in spite of having this Manava Janma, our next step is to be rational, intelligent, to become intelligent. Kovida, that's what intelligent means. So Kovida, one person should be Kovida to understand what is his real nature, why he has been born here. He'll ask about why he was born. The moment he comes to know why he was born and what is his duty, what he's supposed to do, that kind of inquiry comes, then that means he's going in the right way. But today, because of all the material nature's influence of the material nature, because of the conditioning of the time immemorial of all the living entities in this material world, we forgot what is our relationship with Krishna. So the conditional life is so bad that what do we have between birth and death? One person is born and is going to die anyway. Between B and D, what is that we have is the C, which is a choice to make what we can do in between B and D. The choice is the advancement, material advancement or a spiritual advancement. The person, when today's consciousness, if you see, at the time of death, what we carry, what we lack, the lacking is, oh, I did not make any progress in my, even though I was born, I did not make any progress in spiritual faith. That is completely lacking. So what is the advancement in this modern age? Most of the living entities, especially human beings. If I ask, what is your success being born here? He'll say, I am qualified with these designations. I have this position. I have these assets. There are so many achievements in my life. I have a very nice family, wife, children, and they are also very successful materially. That's enough for me. That is not actually a real advancement. The advancement, the person, when he says that, that is actually temporary, and then the person cannot understand that end of his life is nothing carrying along with him, anything, whatever he achieved materially. Everything goes to dogs. That's it. Everything is gone waste. Yes, materially would have advanced, but what is that you carry is most important to the next life. Eternally, there is zero in the bank account. Eternal bank account, zero. So we need to understand what we can carry, because the person who has realized the material nature is, if I understand earlier, now hearing from the sources, one is pradhan, one is vidya, one is avidya. Pradhan, yes, nature has given whatever you have given to us. And the avidya potency is looking at the rope, we will think that it is a snake. And the vidya potency, moment you look at the rope, you will say it is a rope. And if you look at the snake, it is a snake. That is a reality. So avidya, the material nature, it will give us the knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Based on our consciousness and conditioning. If you have that avidya, that means based on my desire, material influences and facilitates what you want. And if the person thinks about a little bit, oh, this is not right, what am I doing? Maybe I need to think something else, a little bit more. Then if you have that vidya is also still in the material nature. It will give you the sense of understanding that this is not your body, that is you're actually a soul. That is actually vidya. That means making a awareness of what you are. That's the reality in our life. That means he's self-realized. at least getting to the point of self-realization. Still, it is in the influence of material nature. But this is the differences. If you look at it, what is Mahamaya and Yogamaya? We are actually still all these three, Pradhan, Vidya, Avidya, they're all still in the Mahamaya. Yogamaya, the person who is self-realized, that doesn't mean he is already God conscious. He might be conscious of, yes, I am not the body, I'm the soul. But the one acts in relationship with the Krishna, he'll be under the influence of Yogamaya rather than the Mahamaya. So the Mahamaya is the material nature is very intelligent. Based on our desire, it sanctions and facilitates what we want. And every time we see, there are a lot of inquiries in every newspaper, every discussion. The whole day, if you see, it's a matter of inquiry. This is what happens. This is what the answer. If I open up the news, if I open up the browser, for anything for that matter, it's just a question and answer. And the inquiry and the answer based on the consciousness of a person who has developed it, based on our desire. What is my question, first of all? A little boy, a little child, a baby is born and it become a toddler, he will inquire many things. But what is that consciousness it has? The same, say, suppose a 5-year or 6-year-old boy, he inquires about the spiritual matters, the consciousness is completely developed. Our Prahlad Maharaj, at the age of 5, he was able to even preach his friends because he had developed that consciousness because of the mercy of Narada Muni. Even in the womb, he was Krishna conscious. And the moment he was born and became a 5-year-old, he was able to preach Krishna consciousness. So the most important thing to understand is our inquiry is proportional, consciousness, proportion to consciousness, right? Consciousness is proportion to the inquiry, either way. Why? Because what kind of consciousness you have developed, based on that, you inquire accordingly. So there are, in the Taittiriya Upanishad, it has been said that there are 5 koshas. I think I remember at least say something. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Gnanamaya, and Anandamaya. In that, Annamaya means we are only looking for what can I eat. Annamaya, Pranamaya. 1 second, let me. This is Annamaya kosha is food shelf. Pranamaya is kosha, is a prana or life. So he is in insecurity, he's secure thinking about, oh, my life, etc. And the Annamaya is only in the food. Manomaya is in the form, it's actually mind, thinking about how I can satisfy my mind. Vijnanamaya is in the knowledge, how much knowledge I have, how I can show myself, etc. But the Anandamaya is completely in bliss. So these koshas are 5 koshas is talking about in the Taittiriya Upanishad. It says, what is this consciousness? What is this inquiry? And where is our consciousness, first of all? We are in that. That means that 4 koshas, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, they're all in the material consciousness. Anandamaya, blissful, it's connected to Krishna. That means if I am connected to Krishna, I'll be blissful. So, but coming to the consciousness, think about, as a little child, what do we want? I want to drink milk. Slowly we will develop, slowly we will develop. But again, if the influence of the family, especially the parents, if they are influenced very much materially, the child also develops the same till the end of his life. The foundation should be very strong. Even I understand once somebody asked a question to Premananda Maharji, how can we, my child is not doing this and that, what can we do? He said, first the parents has to be Krishna consciousness, Krishna conscious. In that way, the children will see what their parents are doing and they'll just follow their parents. You don't have to force them anything. First of all, you follow what you need to follow. So for all of us, it's most important that what the parents follow, the children will also follow. And if you can see in our own community, how the children have developed, looking at their parents, looking at the association of all this, Sunday school, etc. Amazing how they're developing their consciousness. Look at the other kids outside. They are all into so many things. It doesn't mean that our children are very Krishna conscious. Of course, they are into other things also, but they're conscious and aware what is this, what will help in their life. So the most important here, I'm trying to tell that it is inquiry depends on our consciousness. It's proportional. And if we don't develop the right consciousness, there is no proper inquiry. But in this regard, the person who has developed the higher consciousness is Vidura. The person who has developed the higher consciousness is Maitreya Muni. And they are actually inquiring and answering in such a way that what are this inquiry about the transcendental topics? And okay, why they are inquiring, one is inquiring, one is answering, but what is that benefit for us to listen to all this? What is the benefit? Once one is very eager to hear about Krishna Katha, about Krishna, the glories of Krishna, the yesterday's verse, it says, one is so fortunate to hear Srimad Bhagavatam about these inquiries and, about the question and answers. How is a question? One person goes to the spiritual master in that mood of Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadekshantis Degnanam Gnaninas Tattva Darshinaha. He is not going in a challenging mood. He is going very submissively asking these questions to get an answer with that consciousness in the surrendering mood. Then you will get the right answer. So this whole the questions and answers of Srimad Bhagavatam is helping us to progress in our spiritual life. So how much we are eager to hear is most important. Why? The more we hear about Krishna, then we will Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. The more we hear, we don't have an eagerness, develop that eagerness, looking at be in the association, as yesterday's verse, be in the association, inquire about the transcendental subject matters. Sometimes, we don't even ask questions because we haven't developed that consciousness, what to ask. How do we ask, what to ask is more we hear, the purification starts and Krishna will give and reveal his knowledge. So it is not that I will get everything. It also depends on Krishna's mercy. sincerity. Haridwani Prabhu said the last time, how much sincerity we have developed in following the services of Krishna, that depends on, that is a reciprocation. We have to completely sincere. We have to be, one should be completely sincere to get that mercy. That's the key word. That's what catch 22. That's the other day we had some discussions like that. So I think also 8:02, but I'll conclude here saying that the person who is eager to hear will develop the right consciousness. And the moment he is eager to hear more and more, he will chant regularly. And then what happens? We can do the services very nicely. Say, suppose I am doing a deity worship. If I don't hear properly, if I don't chant properly, I may not be doing even the deity services in that right consciousness. I'll be completely material consciousness. I may look at the deities and think if there may be some dolls, and the way of doing some duty, just like a profession, I just do go and do some duty there. I don't have that consciousness developed. So it's important for all of us to hear regularly, Nityam Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. All the abhadras will go away by Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. So whether interested, uninterested, not interested, doesn't matter. We know this is our life going forward, because he has given the benefit of hearing is to purify our consciousness, purify our heart. And the Maitreya Muni and Vidura, they are not talking for themselves. They are actually for the beneficial of the humanity. And the more we hear, we also need to preach. That way we will get registered in our hearts. And saying that, I think I'll stop, and thank you so much for all your patience. If anybody has reflections, please go ahead. Otherwise, we can stop. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare.
Thank you so much for the class. I not much of a question, but just an appreciation. I really appreciate how you brought up the point of consciousness and inquiry. That just was so wonderful to hear, and how you kind of related that to the topic of the verse itself. Yeah, most of the things now, when you said that, I was kind of correlating most of the things that were in my head, and like that, just that statement kind of was like, I feel like it was a missing piece in most of the jigsaw puzzle that was kind of in my head. So thank you so much for that point. Wherever our consciousness is, our consciousness is directly proportionate to the inquiry, and vice versa. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, Prabhu, I was talking to Dhanajapanit Prabhu the other day, and I was telling there should be some measurement for us. Where I am, what is my, I can go to a bank and look at how much balance is there in my account. Is there any way we can also open an eternal account and say how much progress I've made? Then I said, if at all, if I open my account, mine might be 0.0001% out of 100%. That is my that is my progress I've made in my spiritual life. So it's a long way to go. So when do I get that? Because my consciousness still here only. There is no inquiry because I'm doing something nonsense in my life. So my progress is still 0.0001. So when do I get there? Even when do I get like 1%? When do I get by 10%? It will be nice if somebody finds out that what is my consciousness, and to measure myself. It's difficult. If anybody has that instrument, please let me know. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, I think we'll stop here. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji.